Greetings and good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Wolf.
I am Silver Quill.
And we've just had a very lengthy weekend at Ponycon 2017.
Very excellent weekend.
Oh, yes. A lot of surprises around the corner. It had a bit of a slow start because there wasn't that many people who showed up on Friday, but thankfully Saturday definitely picked up.
Oh, goodness, but it did. Now, that's not to say Friday was boring. We had a lot going on. I got to present two panels, a redux of my vivacious villains, and then a hour-long panel workshop on vectoring, where I got to walk people through some of the basic tools I use. And I enjoyed both. I think if I get to do another vectoring class, I'll make it longer so people have more room and time to play.
Yeah. There were more than a few people who went there with the intent to learn something. And for most panels that are there just to entertain, I think that's a nice change. Yeah.
So we enjoyed it.
But as far as today, there are a few interesting little events that we did want to talk about.
Oh, yes.
First of all, when we were vending during the afternoon, I want to give a special shout out to a gentleman who decided completely out of the blue that he's been hearing stories all day about how I'm trying to support my nephew as he's graduating high school this year and he's going to be starting into college and I'm trying to raise money for his college fund. He hands me $82 and just says, for your nephew's college. And I'm like, well, goodness, but thank you very much. There must be something that I can do for you in return, like some art prints that I can give you, something. And he said, no, actually, I just want to support your nephew starting out on his animating career. And I'm like, wow, that's wonderfully generous of you. So I did want to give a shout out to, in case this gentleman is watching this video, we do appreciate it. Very much so.
And I have a shout out to two young women who met at this convention and formed a fast friendship. They came by and wanted to buy packs of the new expansion under review. One did not have the money, so her friend, who they just met at this weekend, she offered to buy it, and so marked the price down, and she bought the pack, gave it to her friend. I gave them a free mystery bag, a little collection of prints. And instead of saying, okay, this is mine now, they split the contents. They divvied it up 50-50, what they wanted to have signed. And that just meant a lot to see that generosity, that friendship in action. It may sound like something right out of the cartoon show, and in a way it is, but it's real-life application, letting you know this isn't as fictional as some might instantly dismiss it.
It's wonderful to hear stories like that. We really do appreciate them, and we remember them. And speaking of which, there was actually a VIP banquet in the evening, which the staff were very kind to, since they had a couple of extra tickets, they said, hey, would you two like to join us over there? And we said, yeah, that's very nice. We can make sure that happens. When we walk in to this banquet room, they had many candles lit on every single table.
It was beautiful.
They had wine glasses, and they had how many different utensils already set up? Oh, goodness.
Let's see here. 3 forks, 2 knives,
and
1 spoon.
And a spoon for dessert, yeah.
A spoon for dessert. And we had to be reminded you outside to in.
Yeah.
It was, and then to the top.
But what really made the clincher for this is that right in front of this very intricately detailed salad, where you had this long strip of cucumber surrounding walnuts and lettuce and so many other things, it looked really nice. But right in front of that bowl, you see packs of MLP trading cards.
One more, please.
I thought that was just fantastically entertaining and yet so confusing at the same time to see this beautiful setup that you'd see at this incredibly expensive wedding. And you see MLP trading cards right in front of this intricately detailed salad bowl. It's something that I wanted to mention.
I will tweet a photo I took later on. But yeah, that's just... And the fun thing was we had a wonderful table. Uncle Jay, the master of ceremonies, was there.
Yeah.
As were two animation friends we'd made over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Pie Animations? Am I
Pie
saying that?
Animations.
There we go.
He's done the Elements of Cringe video, but probably more well known for his Meet the Amazing, say, Engineer, Heavy, Demo Man, Medic. He's done all the TF2 classes. That's what people most know him for, but he's working on more MLP productions these days, and it was nice to have a chat with him. And who was the artist who was with him? Do you remember?
I am so bad with names. It just matters. She is a wonderful person to talk with, but we've had such a long day. My brain is a little fried, and my memory is shot. But actually, I can look up her name very quickly.
She drew our characters earlier in the weekend, and I thought they looked fantastic. And it was completely out of the blue that she came up to us and said, "Hey, I actually love watching your content." And that was, okay, genuine surprise. I do hope to see more of her artwork in the future, and I guess we're both really sorry that we can't remember the specific name. Like Silver said, our brain gets fried at some point in the convention weekend when we do meet with so many people. But I did think that it was wonderful that we sat down and had such a fancy dinner with them. And even during the end of dinner, we're all opening these packs of MLP cards, and we're trying to form together, okay, do you have this piece? Do you have this piece? We're only one short of a complete picture.
So I actually went to the neighboring table and I offered them, would you like these to complete your set? And instead they gave me the missing piece, which I brought back and gave to our friends because they wanted to have it framed. And I'm still looking up. See, this is why it's bad to multitask.
One thing I do want to note, this VIP banquet set aside some time for Kathy Wiseluck, who is the voice actress for Spike. She gave a speech about her experiences going to, she's been to at least 18 conventions in the past few years.
And cited there are some 10 million bronies in the world.
She cited that there are now about 10 million bronies throughout the world. I am most curious about where she got that number from, but I have to believe she wouldn't be saying that number without some fact behind it, and that's just mind-boggling that it's really grown that big.
And she said it's no longer just a fad or a craze, it is, in many respects, a movement.
Oh, yeah.
That moving beyond just the entertainment value, there are bronies who provide donations to charities. Case in point, here at Ponycon, there's a cancer research fund that if you contributed, you got a free calendar, but you also got a pin that would get deals in the vendor hall.
Yeah. And you were actually handing out stickers and magnets to anyone who had that little pin. So that's very nice of you.
As a thank you. I mean, it's important. And that's the thing that, in a weird way, people get so fixated on the topic of ponies, they don't really look at the expression around it. The show is wonderful. I enjoy it. I so love the characters, love the stories. But the actions people take outside of the show, but still using it as a foundation, that's the part that people don't often get about bronies.
I also did enjoy seeing Kathy Wiseluck in her Spike voice call out to the audience to a changeling in disguise. And then asked Thorax to come up on stage.
The voice actor for Thorax, who the scenes in The Times They Are a Changeling where he is having the breakdown, he's going more feral because of all the love around him. The voice actor showed that to the audience, and it's not quite as scary when he does it in real life. But and he said he was doing this for like hours. They just had him keep going.
It was fun for the audience to take part in. Anyways, after the banquet, we made it over to one of his friends who was in the vendor hall throughout most of the day, who had shown us earlier in the weekend he had come up with a brand new card game with MLP characters.
My friend Sky.
Yeah, it would be difficult to explain how the game works without any visual representation, but I did have a lot of fun starting out a game with 4 players that ended up with just Silver and me at the very end, And we were staring each other down, trying to be very quick about how quickly we're putting our cards down and just slapping our hands as quickly as we could. And Silver was absolutely determined to get my Luna card out of my deck.
Because oh my God, Luna!
He had every other Alicorn in the entire deck, but he just had to have Luna.
I was greedy.
He couldn't be happy unless he had Luna as well.
And to add the thing, this man is so mild-mannered and kind. But when you get in a competition and he gives you the stare of the competition stare, it is, you see the bloodlust.
I wouldn't call it bloodlust. It's more like I'm sizing up my opponent.
How much he's going to have to dislocate his jaw to eat me.
That's a funny way to put it, yeah.
He's going to sit down. He's like, you'll be good with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Wow.
But it's a lot of fun. Prance is the name of the game.
Yeah.
And it is competitive. It is fast. Why do I feel like the equivalent card game is sort of based on, is it called Slapjack? Where you have to slap on deck?
Well, the way the creator said, he compared it to something like Egyptian Rat Screw. I don't know how many people of you recognize that name. I vaguely remember that name from card games back in college. But playing this again, at least with pony theme to it, it's very interesting. And I do enjoy the game as long as I'm not playing with people who have lightning fast reflexes like the creator did, because you can tell he has been practicing this over and over. He is insanely fast at how quickly he can slap his hand down. So when you're with somebody who is a hardcore expert, I didn't find it all that fun, but with Silver Quill, who was just starting out like me, we were both learning it and we were both having fun with it. So
I, the Luna fanboy in pursuit of his princess, he, the surprisingly fearsome competitor. I mean, and he got the rules down much faster than I
figured it out pretty quick. I figured out that the Alicorn cards are the ones you want to have more than anything else.
And I got it completely backwards.
Yeah, and it ended up that at the start of the game, he had like 3 in his deck to start with, and there's only 4 in the whole deck.
But then I end up with the one Alicorn Island for Luna.
Anyways, it was a fun game, and I would enjoy playing it again if I get my hands on a copy, but you gotta have people to play with.
But Sky will be at BabsCon in April.
Oh yeah,
April, and then at Bronycon. So the name of his vendor stall is Breakfast Tees, like T-shirts. So look for that. Look for his Prance game. He's an excellent teacher. But I will say this, as it got really competitive, and the thing about this game is if you're out, you're not out. You can still slap on the deck and reclaim cards even if your hands are empty. The thing is, though, that at one point I had this feeling I was about to put down a card, and I looked around at all these waiting, quivering hands like, I'm about to put my hand in a piranha pool.
Yes.
After the card game, and this is getting on 10 o'clock, and we are not young men anymore.
We're both in our mid-30s, in case any of you didn't know.
Oh, I feel like we should be Walder and Statler. But afterwards, we went to see Voice of Reason's panel talking about the very first arc of the MLP comic and making some comparisons to Where and Back Again.
Oh, yeah.
And that was enjoyable. Poor Voice, he came down very sick on Friday night. We were worried, but he was a trooper. He went through it. You wouldn't know. But why is it this month at both Ponycon and Pacific Ponycon, so many of our friends have taken ill quickly? We the plague?
I don't think it's us.
Okay.
As you've mentioned to Keyframe and Lightning Bliss before, who I'm sure are going to be upset that we're mentioning this yet again, but
we
have to feel like emphasizing this. You need to take care of yourself. You have to follow the 6-2-1 rule when you're going to conventions. 6 hours of sleep, 2 good meals, not snacks, good meals, and 1 shower. And in the case of Lightning Bliss and Keyframe, they weren't getting enough sleep, they weren't getting enough to eat. And in the case of Voice of Reason, I'm not sure what happened, but he got sick really quick and required a lot of medicine really quick in order to just make a majority recovery in order to do this panel. But we're glad he made it.
Made it. And props to his roommates Finn the Pony, Toon Critic Y2K,
Yeah.
Aeon of Dreams, Inverted Shadow.
I think that was, yeah.
They swung too. They made late night runs to Walgreens to get just the right things. They worked very closely together. We were unfortunately absent for a good chunk of that.
We were in their room for a little while because we were watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And we made it about halfway through the movie before Voice reached a point where, we could tell he was not going to make it. He was not going to make it.
The smart thing was for us to get out so they could go to bed.
So he could get a lot of good medicine and a lot of good sleep.
But now I feel that when we get home, the first thing we're going to do is take Monty Python and Holy Grail off the shelf, plug it in, and watch the rest of it. Because we just finished, we were just at the night to say, me!
Yeah. And inevitably, we're going to start thinking, we got to start doing Pony Python skits again because our minds are working while watching that film. We got to do a second part for Pony Python, but we don't have anything scripted yet. It's just something we'd love to do again.
We only know that I am still greedy and would love to do all the John Cleese scenes.
Of course, because everybody loves seeing you just be the crazy one of the group.
Me?
We'll see whether or not that happens. In the meantime, though, it has been a very long weekend. And even though it's pretty late, even where we are right now, we felt that we wanted to share a lot of our experiences with you because conventions can be so much fun. If you're properly prepared, because, again, 621 rule, conventions can be so much fun. And I hope everybody out there can at least try a convention once. You don't have to travel across halfway the country to do it, just
like we did.
Try it once. Yeah, we've traveled more than... How many thousands of miles did we go?
In the span of January, we have gone from our respective homes to San Diego, and then back to our respective homes, then over to Newark.
Yeah,
and
Newark
then,
and New...
By the way, this was my first time commuting through the New Jersey transit, and I owe a great deal to Dr. Wolf, who had this planned out exquisitely. We bumped into each other at the airport as he transferred and I got on.
It wasn't until Thursday morning when I was getting on the plane in Salt Lake City, I was thinking, wait, I'm stopping in Denver. How likely is it that I could end up in the same flight as him? And so I was sitting there and I was waiting. It's getting pretty close to when the plane's leaving. I'm guessing Silver must be on a different flight until I see, oh, wait, hey, Silver. And he's like, wait, what?
Meanwhile, I'm going through the monitors in the terminal were all out trying to connect to the server. So I'm wandering around trying to find my gate just by eyeballing it.
Yeah.
And so the next thing I see is someone waving. Oh, someone sees his friend. That is a very tall someone. That is a very thin someone. Wait, I know that someone. That someone is Dr. Wolf.
Completely unintentional, but
it
actually gave us some time to script on the plane.
Which was also fun.
Yeah.
So this has been a unique trip. It's been a wonderful trip. This has been a wonderful convention. And high praise to the Ponycon staff for putting this all together. Praise to Kathy Westluck, who delivered a magnificent speech.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I have to make a correction. This is, again, my fried brain. Uncle Yo, not Uncle Joe.
Okay.
So he delivered a magnificent poetry slam introduction for Miss Westluck.
Which apparently he had scripted in only about an hour before the banquet actually started.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was impressive. I believe he's going to use some of that for closing ceremony.
Yeah, but we're not going to be there. We got to leave for getting to the airport. It's going to be long trek back.
And back to day jobs.
It was fun being at a convention again. Probably going to have to wait a few months to be at the next convention scene. We've both been accepted as community guests for BabsCon, so that's probably going to be the next one.
The first Brony convention I ever attended was BabsCon.
Oh, yeah. That was, 2014?
Oh, this was back before I even really got into comics or reviews. I think this was 2012.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I believe so. Believe me, the first convention I went in, I was unknown. I said hi to a few folks, but mostly I just wanted to see what a Brony convention was. And when I came back the next year, I had started reviews, and I ended up making a very good friend, Grand Pause. I met him, so I'm looking forward to going back to BabsCon and revisiting some good memories and making new ones.
Alrighty. Well, it's still a few months off, so we got to
we
get back to
recover.
our normal during the week career jobs, that kind of thing.
We'll be like this. We're at the convention rush. Oh, I'm crashing.
I think I fare a little bit better than most people. I've only gotten the dreaded con crud once in all the conventions I've gone to, and I've gone to at least 12 by this point.
Oh, it is a marathon run. Oh, well, now we have to get to packing.
Yeah, we got to pack all our stuff away. I got a few items back here. So, thank you for taking the time to listen to our ranting and raving about card games and panels and banquet dinners where we've got trading cards next to this intricately detailed salad bowl. I still can't believe that.
It was beautiful. Well, there are always more stories to tell, but if that's the case, this vlog will never end.
Yeah, I suppose so. Leave your thoughts in the comments about your first convention experience, because there's plenty of people out there who are curious whether it's worth it for them to try it once in their lives. Again, you don't have to travel halfway across the country. It doesn't even have to be this year, but try it once. Leave your thoughts on your first convention experiences below, and maybe it'll inspire a few people to step outside of their comfort zone one of these days. And as per usual, I am Dr. Wolf.
I'm Silver Quill.
And we look forward to hearing from you.